Okay, Damien Richardson, what's your reaction to the news?
I'm staggered, I have to admit. Whilst I had feared, not the worst, I'd certainly had some bad fears, but for something like this to happen, it's just beyond belief. Having said that, I suppose we've had warning signs over the last 2 years. I mean, whilst I was there with Brian Lennox, money was never abundant, but we always managed to cover ourselves. We had to sell players, we kept the club going, we kept the club in a healthy position. In hindsight, the worst thing ever was our Carga coming in, because I think the club went from bad to worse then, and it seemed like the situation became irredeemable. And whilst Tom Conn was come in, I think there was too much to be done in too short a period of time for any one individual. And hence we're at the situation now where the club have 48 hours to come up with what is a huge amount of money, or else to go out of existence. And it's just moved me sideways. I still can't quite comprehend it.
Yeah, it's knocked everyone for 6 days. I mean, the fans and the players alike, they're just shocked at this news.
Yes, I mean, we all hoped, almost against hope, that everything would work its way out. We knew that the club had a great standing in the community of the city and the county, and indeed in the country. We understood fully the very talented footballers that were there, that despite all the setbacks, still have the club in a challenging position. I feel sorry for manager Paul Doolan at this time, because none of this was his doing, and he's just stepped into a situation. But the most important aspect of all is not any individual or any group of individuals, it's the club itself. Because the club itself is the fulcrum of all those individuals that are around it. And the most important priority to me is, first of all, that somehow the club comes up with the money between now and Wednesday or Thursday. And then on the back of that we get, it's too much for one man, as Tom Collin, I think, will agree. And we now need, I think, 3 people to come in. Somebody from a footballing perspective, somebody from a business point of view, and somebody from a media perspective. And then they in turn bring in 3 or 4 more people each. So there's maybe 8, 9 or 10 people involved in the football club who can actually get back to the very basics, rediscover the soul of the club, rediscover what the heart and the heartbeat of the club is, and get people back involved who have great time for the club, not just time for the club, but a great passion and love for the club. That's gone over the last 2 years, I feel. And the worst part of all this has been to me to see the soul of the club disappear, almost without a fight. And it's now the situation, maybe, in a perverse sort of way, the best thing to happen is that people are made to stand up and say, look, either we all work together to save the football club or it's gone. Now let's everybody get together and let's see what we can all do to make sure the worst doesn't come to the worst.
Jamie, you mentioned the club was well run under Brian Lennox, then Arcadia came in. Is this all their mess?
Well, I think they must take a great responsibility for it, Brody, because when I was there with Brian, everybody knows, I have it documented well, we tried our best to keep it going. We had to sell players to keep it going, but the club was in a very healthy position. And when Arcadia came in, I felt at that time it lost its way. It went away from the football, and I think it went on an ego trip. I have to be honest with you, I feel it went on an ego trip. And the people in charge of the club then did not understand professional football, and they certainly did not understand what Cork City was all about. And that was the start of the downward spiral. And I think they paid out, too much money was paid out in salaries and a ridiculous bonus scheme, and it just went in a direction that was not for the liking or for the good of the football club. So there has to be a great onus of responsibility placed on the Arcadia group and the people they place in charge of the club, but it is not just down to them, it must be said. It is horrendously expensive to run a professional football club nowadays. Hence, 2 things have to be right. The on-field organisation has to be spot on, and the off-field organisation has to match it. And that hasn't happened either. Over the last 2-3 years, the commercial side of the club has been almost non-existent, and there's been very little money coming in apart from what's coming in through the gate. And as we saw with the Ipswich game, even that hasn't reflected truthfully the position the club should hold in the community. So all those things have to be accepted. The past is now the past, and it's what happens from here on in, really, that is the most important. And I would appeal to anybody who has a love, a respect, a passion for Cork City to get together and make sure that you do your bit, everybody does their bit, and hopefully some real leaders will emerge. And people will take responsibility to be the leaders and take the club from this very, very dire and difficult situation onto a more positive one, and then hopefully we get a proper and a successful future in the years to come.
Damien, if the club is wound up, it's not going to be easy for professional footballers to be finding other employment in this current climate, is it?
Of all of this, I mean, the people I feel most sorry for are the supporters, obviously, because they've had great pride and passion in their football club down through the years. But the players, who not only have great pride and passion, but also their livelihood. They place their family's livelihood alongside the strength and the future of the football club. So this is going to hurt them very, very badly. It's going to be very, very worrying times to the likes of Dan Murray and Danny Murphy and Neil Hogan and people like that. And my heart goes out to those, because they have been wonderful people that have worked over the last 2 years through incredibly difficult times, and they've still plied their trade to a very, very high standard. They deserve the greatest respect from everybody, and their fortunes, bad as they may appear now, shouldn't be overlooked. But the most important thing, again, I repeat myself, is the future of the football club. Without a football club, you have no footballers. The players, if football club survives, those players will stand by it and see it through. I'm just hoping that we have people of financial expertise, marketing expertise, media expertise to come in and save this wonderful football club, this wonderful institution that is so important, not just to the county of Cork, but to the country of Ireland.
Damien, is there any blame to be placed in the FAI? Because they see Cork City's books, they see the money that's coming in and going out, and they have to ratify all this.
Obviously, there's a responsibility on everybody connected with Cork City Football Club, and that includes the League of Ireland and the FAI and everybody else connected to it. I think it'd be churlish now to point fingers in any particular direction outside of the football club. I think the FAI have helped League of Ireland football over the last years. I have to say that because I believe it's true. I think more could be done from the league's point of view, but I understand the difficulties they face, that they have to organise clubs, they have to have an impartiality about them, that no one club stands above the others in importance. But I think everybody fully understands the importance of Cork City Football Club. But I also have to stress, Shamrock Rovers were in dire and difficult times. They were almost out. They'd no home, they were nomadic, they were gypsies, and yet they are now in a very, very healthy situation. The same can happen to Cork. It just needs the right people with good, clear heads, strong hearts and a determination to ensure that everybody works together to make sure that the worst doesn't happen. And from this sort of dire situation, we can rise phoenix-like from the ashes of despair and go on to a bright future.
Finally, Damien, what message do you have for both the players and the fans of Cork City this evening?
I would like to see them hold true, and I would like to see them be available for somebody to come in and talk to them and say, look, we want to try and save the club, will you be behind us? And you know that that Cork City will be like Shamrock Rovers, and they will respond, and they will. I still think there's a future there for the football club.